agenda of our today's webinar. Probably I would like to keep this session interactive, and I just want to avoid the one-way speaking. Is that fine, Bhargavi, or what do you suggest?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So if we keep it interactive, of course, that it will be a very meaningful session. Otherwise, if one way I keep on speaking, then probably it will be difficult for students to understand at times. So just let's keep it interactive. So, okay, the first topic is about the history of photography. So you know that the tool what we use to capture the images or photographs, we uh, call it as a camera. So what is the meaning of camera? So how this camera word came into existence. So this word came into existence from a Greek word called as kamera, which is a room. Okay, so if you see adjoining picture where the first camera was invented, so it appeared like a big room, right? So based on that, the word camera came into the existence. And if you talk about the photography, so in first, this phenomena was observed by one of the Chinese person called as a Mo Tzu, that was somewhere in 500 BC. So he accidentally saw that some of the images were forming on the wall, faint images were forming on the wall. But then subsequently, no thought was basically taken forward, and that remained as it is. But in latter stage, in 1826, the first camera image was formed by a French person called as Joseph Nicephore-Niopce. And uh, nowadays we click a picture in a fraction of second, but trust me, the first image which was created by this scientist, he took 8 hours to create that photograph. And it was so long time which was taken to create one photograph. And that time this process was called as the heliography. And then subsequently, in 1839, there was a very scientific or methodological approach was followed to develop this photography process. And there was a scientist called as Louis J.M. Daguerre. Again, he being a French scientist, he first developed the image making process. That means if you, nowadays we use digital cameras, so we mostly, the today's generation is not aware of the films which were being used in the earlier years, that is till 2000, beginning of the 2000. So we used to have a film, then we used to take a photograph on the film, and that film was called as a negative, and that was printed on something like a photo paper called as a positive. So this was all the image making process. Okay, and this process was announced to world on first time on 19th August 1839, and that is how the photography became open for the rest of the world. Before 19th August 1839, this process was very much restricted to the people who were very rich, because that time the people had to pay a huge royalty to follow this process, and it was only restricted to the rich people. But then after that, this process was announced to world, and then it was made royalty free, and that is why 19th August 1839 is called as a World Photography Day. So again, at the same time in 1839, there was one British scientist. His name was Fox Talbot. So he was also parallelly working on the image making process, and his one of his scientist friend called as John Herschel, he saw that under some beam of light, this Fox Talbot is creating some images, so with the help of light, and that is why he called this process as a photography. So you can understand that the first it was called as a heliography, then subsequently in 1839 this was termed as photography, because he saw that Fox Talbot was printing on paper with the help of light. So let's understand now what is the meaning of photography. Okay, so what is photography? So I would like to hear answers from all of you students. I don't mind even professors who would like to attempt this question. What do you mean by photography? Any thought process, any answers from your side?
थोडं मोठ्याने बोलावं.
मोठ्याने बोला
म्हणजे
आणि
ऐकूच येत.
interactive session, so whatever you know, whatever your guesses, you can just tell, right? All of you.
You want me to speak in English, Marathi? You'd be comfortable in any language. That's not a problem. I can manage questions in English, Hindi, Marathi. That's okay, fine. So any language is comfortable for me. And don't be afraid of answering. It doesn't matter even if it is wrong.
व्हॉट इज फोटोग्राफी असं विचारतायत ते. त्याच्याबद्दल तुम्हाला कोणाला काही सांगायचं असेल तर बोला ना. भाऊ बोल, मराठीत बोललं तरी चालणार आहे.
तुला भाऊ सांग.
मी मराठीत बोलू का, चालेल का? म्हणजे मग सगळे कम्फर्टेबल होतील.
No sir, English is okay from your side, but if they want to say in Marathi.
हा बोल.
I'm capturing a scene or scenario in a frame.
Sir, is she audible to you?
Slightly very low voice, not clear actually what she is speaking.
Capturing a scene in a frame is basically photography.
Okay, capturing scene in a frame. Okay. Have I heard correctly? बरोबर ऐकलं का मी?
हो बरोबर.
Yes sir, yes.
Great. Okay. अजून capturing emotions. Okay. Fine. Okay. अजून
Freezing a moment.
फ्रीजिंग
Freezing a movement.
freezing a moment. Okay, fine. Okay, good. अजून
ईशा, भाऊ, तुम्हाला काय वाटतं फोटोग्राफी म्हणजे काय? साक्षी. Yes.
Capturing rare moments. Sometimes there are few moments that we can rarely see. Some like wildlife photography,
okay.
where quite some animals they come at night time. So
Okay, capturing rare moments like wildlife photography. Okay, fine. So all of you more or less believe that photography is capturing the image, where we capture emotions, we capture rare things, we capture sceneries and all those things, right? But now let us see what exactly photography means. Okay, so I'll just go move on. So the photography, the first word what we see here is the word photo, correct? And what is the meaning of photo? फोटो तुम्ही तुमच्या बाजूने फोटोचा तुम्ही कसा अर्थ लावता?
प्रश्न कळलाय.
what is a photo?
फोटो म्हणजे काय?
I believe all of you are students from engineering background, College of Architecture, मतलब engineering चा base आहे. Just recollect your 8th, 9th, 10th physics.
Yes, what is photo?
Sir, is it related to the refraction? When the after the sun.
You can give your answers. I'll correct if it is wrong. Don't bother. Don't worry about that, and be open to answer whatever you feel.
Don't hesitate. Whatever you feel, you can say. Right?
See now what I'm trying to explain here is, see, day in day out we use this word photography, photo, but see how much we are struggling to understand or perceive this word in a very right way. That is what I'm just trying to explain here. Okay, so, and I know once I explain, you will feel, oh yes, I was knowing this. Okay, so just I'm trying to build that curiosity among all of you. So any guesses? What do you mean? Or not guesses? Any answers? What do you mean by photo?
Yes sir. So what I was saying is when light falls on an object, we
Okay.
see that object. So, because of the diffraction of light, when light spectrum falls on an object. So,
Okay. Okay, fine. A somewhat close answer. Yeah. Any more guesses? Any more answers?
अरे बोला काहीतरी.
फिजिक्सच्या पेपरला डमी नव्हतं का बसवलेलं? Yes. But his slight idea, let it be wrong, but whatever you feel, express yourself.
आणि तुम्ही बोलल्याशिवाय तुम्हाला मजा नाही येणार. हा, नाहीतर मग ते वन साइडेड लेक्चर ऐकल्यासारखं नकोय आपल्याला ना.
एक्झॅक्टली, मला लेक्चर नाही द्यायचं इकडे. लाईक
आपण
अदर प्रोफेसर्स डू.
ते. हा?
Sir, is it audible to you?
No, it was not audible. Photo is a picture of something. I just could hear that. That's it.
इथे आलीस तरी चालतं, तर speak करा. You करा.
हा, सावकाशी.
इथे बरोबर audible.
Sir, photo is a picture on a piece of paper which is existing.
Okay. And what about the digital screen? If I am seeing on digital screen?
Sir, can you repeat?
What about the photos on digital screen?
What about photo on digital screen? So photo is a piece of paper seen on what you said. That is the answer. That means something what we see printed on some paper, right? Suppose if I'm seeing the same photo on digital screen, so will you call it a photo or will you not call it a photo? So photo म्हणाल की नाही म्हणाल त्याला?
Yeah, sir, we will call it as a photo, not only on a piece of paper, but a picture in all which is existing or which is real.
Okay,
Means-
fine. Okay. Okay. ठीक आहे, आपण पुढे जाऊया. आय थिंक पीपल आर फिलिंग शाय, तरी पण आय विल इंटरॅक्ट विथ यू. ओके, सो दुसरा वर्ड त्याच्यात येतो ग्राफी. So you now have seen that photography has two words, photo and graphy. So we got answers about photo. Means photo is something which is on a piece of paper where we have captured real things, or where the light falls on object and we capture that image. Now, what do you mean by graphy? Any guesses? And I'm sure you are all are architect. You might be drawing graph, lines, everything. So you know what do you mean by graphy? And that is the, if we simplify this graphy as a graph, what do you mean by graph? तुम्ही सगळ्यांनी कार्डिओग्राफी, सोनोग्राफी हे सगळे शब्द ऐकलेत की नाही?
Yes, sir.
रेडियोग्राफी ऐकलेत ना?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what do you mean by, so same graphy is coming here. So what is meaning of graphy? What is the meaning of graph?
So the action of representing something.
Okay.
So whatever is real, we are transferring it into a paper or cell phone. Wherever we click that photo,
Mhm.
the real object is transferred into our phones or papers.
Okay. So you are answering for the graphy or for the photo?
Graphy.
Graphy.
We
Okay.
are representing it in
A virtual representation of a real thing.
जोरात बोल.
A virtual representation of a real thing.
A virtual. Sorry, I was not able to hear you.
She's saying a virtual representation of real thing.
A virtual representation of the real thing. Okay. Good attempt. Okay. Fine. I think जरा बुद्धीचा जास्त कस लावायला लावतोय बहुतेक मी पुढे जातो. So photo means basically nothing but photon. शब्द ऐकलाय photon?
Yes, sir.
8वी 9वी 10वी रिकलेक्ट झालं का?
Yes, sir.
What is the meaning of photon now? मगाशी भार्गवीने माझं इंट्रोडक्शन करून देताना सांगितलं की मी कॉमर्स ग्रॅज्युएट आहे आणि मी फिजिक्स का बोलतोय असं वाटेल तुम्हाला कदाचित. फोटॉनचा अर्थ काय आठवतोय का?
Anyone?
Center of the atom.
सेंटर ऑफ एन
Electrons-
ॲटम. मग न्यूट्रॉन काय असतो?
Electrons revolve around neutrons, photon.
बरं, इलेक्ट्रॉन म्हणजे काय आणि फोटॉन म्हणजे काय याचा पुढचा प्रश्न येईल, पण त्याच्यात आपल्याला जायला नको. पण फोटॉनचा अर्थ आठवतोय का नाही आठवतोय? किती लोकांना आठवतोय? बी ऑनेस्ट.
Be honest.
काय ते सांगा. आठवतंय नाही आठवतंय? What are the you saying?
ठीक आहे, असू दे, ठीक आहे. फोटॉन म्हणजे लाईट. ओके, फोटॉन हा ग्रीक शब्द आहे, त्याच्यावरनं तो घेतलेला शब्द आहे आणि त्याचा अर्थ आहे लाईट. सो फोटो मीन्स अल्टिमेटली नथिंग बट लाईट. बरोबर. आपण बऱ्याच वेळेला असे नॉर्मली इन आवर डे टू डे लाईफ, आपण जेव्हा वेन वी गो टू मॉल्स और वेन वी गो टू सम स्टेशन्स और समवेअर, सो आपण म्हणतो ना, द डोर्स आर हॅव्हिंग अ फोटो सेन्सर. करेक्ट? ऐकलाय शब्द कधी?
Yes,
फोटो
sir.
सेन्सर हा शब्द ऐकलाय की नाही? किंवा तुम्ही इंजिनिअरिंग स्टुडंट्स असल्यामुळे वेन यू गो टू सम मशीन्स मध्ये काही सेफ्टी डिव्हायसेस म्हणून तुम्हाला फोटो सेन्सर्स लावलेले असतात, की कुणी जर हातमध्ये टाकला तर मशीन रिट्रॅक्ट व्हावं आणि ऍक्सिडेंट टळावा, ह्याच्यासाठी फोटो सेन्सर्स लावलेले असतात. म्हणजे त्याचा अर्थ असा आहे का की तो तुमचा फोटो घेतो आणि मग मागे जातो, हा किती छान फोटो आलाय, तर तो मागे जाणार आणि नाही फोटो आला तर तो धडकून टाकणार. तुम्हाला असं होत नाही ना? फोटो सेन्सर्स हा शब्द आहे की नाही? आपण वी हॅव हर्ड अबाउट दी वर्ड फोटो सेन्सर्स. तुम्ही मॉल्स मध्ये जाता तेव्हा एस्केलेटर्स बंद असतात, बरोबर? आणि द मोमेंट यू स्टेप ऑन द एस्केलेटर स्टार्ट्स. or even the elevators, when you try to enter the door of the elevator, the door retracts. So ते कशामुळे होतात? ते फोटो सेन्सर्स मुळे होतात. फोटॉन्स असतात ते. सो लाईट, फोटॉन मीन्स लाईट. सो फोटो मीन्स नथिंग बट द लाईट. सो हॅव यू अंडरस्टूड द मिनिंग ऑफ वर्ड फोटो?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what we in our usual day-to-day terms we call photo as a photo is not a photo. It's something called, we call it as a picture or image technically. Correct? So आपण डे टू डे आपल्या बोली भाषेत म्हणतो की आम्ही फोटो छान काढलाय, बट ऍक्च्युली that is not a photo. That is, in technical terms, it is called as an image or a picture. Correct? But now in this word photography, so the first word photo, what we meant is about the light. So what is done with the help of light? Okay, now let's try to understand graphy. So आपण जेव्हा आपण म्हणतो तेव्हा आपण काय काय प्रक्रिया करत असतो? सो ग्राफ जेव्हा आपण when we try to create a graph, we write, correct? We draw, correct? We sketch and we paint, correct? आपण जेव्हा ग्राफ करत असतो तेव्हा आपण लाईन्स ड्रॉ करत असतो. वी राईट समथिंग लाईक लिजेंड्स त्याला दिलेले असतात. वी ड्रॉ सम शेप्स, करेक्ट ना? स्क्वेअर, रेक्टँगल, लाईन ग्राफ, बार ग्राफ or pie graph, and we do some sketching in that. When we don't want to use colors, we try to show the shades in that sketching, correct? And we do some painting. त्याच्यात आपण काही काही वेळेस रंग भरतो. सो नाउ when we say writing, आपण एक्झॅक्टली काय प्रक्रिया करत असतो? कोणी सांगू शकेल का? आपण when we write, what exactly process we follow? We write on daily basis, correct? We draw on daily basis, and you being architect, you write, you draw, you sketch, you paint on daily basis, correct?
Yes, sir.
So now explain me what is the process involved in all these things. When I say I am writing, what is the process involved in that? प्रक्रिया ज्याला आपण म्हणतो ना मराठीत. मी लिहितो म्हणजे मी नक्की काय करत असतो? कागदावरती किंवा फळ्यावरती मी बोर्डवरती लिहित असतो. आम्ही नक्की काय प्रक्रिया करत असतो? आवाज येत नाही.
Just a minute, sir.
या.
सो एखादी थॉट प्रोसेस असेल तर ती आपण लेटर थ्रू पेपर किंवा रायटिंग ह्या प्रोसेसने लिहून किंवा बाकी पेपरवर किंवा डिजिटल थ्रू आपण ते एक्सप्लेन करतोय किंवा एक्सप्रेस.
बर, ठीक आहे. मी जास्त वेळ घालवत नाही, नाहीतर आपलं पुढे भरपूर प्रेझेंटेशन आहे. I will start. See, when we write, we draw some definite lines, we draw some definite forms. we create contrast with respect to background, correct? आता तुम्ही माझी स्क्रीन बघताय, त्याच्यावरती व्हाईट स्क्रीनवरती ब्लॅक लेटर्सनी लिहिलंय, तो कॉन्ट्रास्ट आहे, किंवा व्हाईट वरती ब्लू लेटर्स आले, तो कॉन्ट्रास्ट आहे. We draw some shapes. Forget about what is in your mind. Okay, when we put something on paper, try to write something A, B, C, D. We try to draw some definite lines. Correct. We try to draw some definite forms and contrast and shapes. Now, what happens when we draw? So when I say I am drawing, we draw some shapes, and when we draw some forms. Now, the question is more related to your area. What is the difference between shapes and forms?
Shape is a 2D object and form is a 3D object.
Perfect. Sketching. So when we do sketching, we put shades in that, correct? आपण म्हणतो ना आपण की स्केच काढलं आणि ड्रॉइंग काढलंय, फरक काय? स्केच आणि ड्रॉइंग मध्ये ड्रॉइंग इज ओनली दी आउटलाईन, करेक्ट, अँड स्केचिंग इज वी ऍड सम शेड्स. आपण म्हणतो ना, अरे माझ्या मित्राने खूप छान स्केच काढलंय या व्यक्तीचं, त्यावेळेस आपण त्याच्यात पेन्सिल टोनिंग केलेलं असतं ना, लाईट अँड डार्क शेड्स दिलेले असतात आपण त्याच्यात पेन्सिलनी. सो दोज आर शेड्स, दोज आर ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज टोन्स. अँड लास्टली colors. Okay, when we draw something, we try to put some colors in that. That is what we call it as a painting. So what is the differentiating factor between the sketching and painting? So sketching has tonalities, right from brights to darks, and painting has colors. That's the difference between sketching and the painting. So when we put together this word photo and graphy, see what happens. So light basically is responsible for two things. One is emphasizing the physical attributes of the subject, and light is basically responsible for creating the mood, feel, or emotions in human minds. Do you agree to this statement, or you don't agree to this statement?
Yes, sir, we agree.
Okay. Why do you agree? Can you cite any examples that light creates mood, feel, emotions in our mind?
For example, sir, if there is light with low intensity, it kind of feel, we kind of feel like dull, or exactly opposite to it if the light is bright. On a summer, if you take example of summer season,
okay,
we feel like energetic, we feel like going out and play.
Correct. So good example actually. So light definitely creates mood, feel, or emotion in human minds. At the same time, light also emphasizes on the physical attributes of the subject. So that means now light will emphasize on lines, light will emphasize on forms, light will emphasize on contrast, light will emphasize on shape. So it may not emphasize on all the physical attributes of the subject, but at times it will only pick up 2-3 major factors which will be emphasized. Our human eyes are applying that correction, and that is why we see everything together when we are seeing the object. But the problem, the point here, what I'm trying to explain is that we need to learn how the camera sees. And that is why it is very important to understand how light emphasizes on the physical attributes of the subject, and how the light creates the emotion on the subject. So that means photography, what I want to say here is, photography is not only about the camera. Photography is, first we need to understand the light first. So when the light emphasizes on particular physical attributes of the subject, I will shoot. When light emphasizes particular mood, I will shoot. Okay, and irrespective whatever the subject is, probably see till date we have some notion in our mind that if I am standing in the front of Taj Mahal, then only I'll shoot Taj Mahal, because Taj Mahal is considered to be a beautiful place. Okay, but if suppose tomorrow I tell you go and shoot the garbage depot outside your city, you will refrain doing that, correct? Because it is not beautiful. You may think that what is there to shoot garbage? Garbage is not something which is to be shot, because that is a dirt. But that's not the case. So the light basically will always create that particular mood, particular that it will emphasize on particular physical attributes of the subject. And then only when all these two parameters are working together, we should pick up our camera and shoot. So that is the first approach of the photography, what I wanted to explain you. So just because we have a very high-end cameras, and one person is having the only smartphone cameras, So that doesn't mean that we should not shoot. So even if, so I have cited some examples that where I have taken photographs with the mobile also, and that will inspire you to take the even architecture photographs with the mobile also. So first take out that concept from your mind that you need to have a very high-end cameras working for you. No, that's not the thought process. Yes, we may have some limitations, but what important here, what I'm trying to bring in here is that we should develop our vision to first capture nice photographs. Then the rest all what is the technical things. So suppose, so you people being architect, okay, now you are using all sort of tools like AutoCAD, and you might have now all AI enabled tools to create the architecture structure and all those things. But suppose if your mind itself is empty, so if your mind is empty, will you be able to create a good architecture drawing even though you have all the world class state of art equipments with you? Yes or no?
अरे बोला.
जर मी तुम्हाला तुमच्या डोक्यातच आर्किटेक्चरचं स्ट्रक्चर नसेल तर मी तुम्हाला ऑटोकॅड आणून दिलं काय, तुम्हाला किती AI एनेबल सॉफ्टवेअर आणून दिले काय, 3D इफेक्ट्स आणून दिले काय, तुम्ही आर्किटेक्चर क्रिएट करू शकाल का जर तुमच्या डोक्यातच काही कल्पना नसेल तर?
नो सर.
नाही ना. सो हेच जर तुमच्या डोक्यात उत्कृष्ट कल्पना असतील तर साधा पेन पेपर जरी तुमच्या हातात असला तरी तुम्ही एक उत्कृष्ट कलाकृती तुम्ही तुमच्या पेपरवर सादर करू शकता, बरोबर की नाही? So same way what I'm trying to explain here is that, so camera is just a tool, okay, where we will be able to take good photograph in the sense from the resolution perspective point of view or from the print quality point of view. But if you don't have anything in your mind, if your vision itself is not developed, it will be very difficult for you to take good photographs. So that is what is the point we should understand here. Fine. Any questions on this?
No, sir.
Okay,
No, sir.
good. So now first let's talk about the quality of the light, what we have seen in the earlier slide. So quality of the light, someone answered me that when the light is dim or not that bright, we are not cheerful or something like that. When the light is very bright, we feel like going outside and playing. So same thing what I have tried to explain here. Now if we try to analyze the light, so there are 4 qualities of light, okay? So 4 qualities of light are, that is the weak light, soft light, strong light, and hard light. Okay, now let's see how this light, when I'm talking about light means a natural light, okay? Now weak light means what? So when the day starts, when the sun is about to rise, when sun has not still come up the horizon, so what are the twilight we see in the morning, okay, that is called as a weak light. And when the sunrise happens, so sunrise, after sunrise, that light whatever we see for some time is called as a soft light. The light after sun, maybe 1.5 hours to 2 hours after sunrise, so the light what we see is called as a strong light. And when the sun exactly on the overhead, so that light is something called as a hard light, okay? So now again after the afternoon, again the hard light gets converted into strong light. Again maybe at the evening, just at the time of sunset, it is soft light. And again after sunset, whatever the twilight we see, that we call it as a weak light. So these are the basically 4 classifications of light, and all these 4 sort of 4 qualities of light create some mood in the human minds. For example, if we are sitting in a weak light situation, so what type of emotions we normally get in those weak lights? So gloomy, nervous, fear, isolation. These are some of the just examples what I have cited over here. When we call about the soft light, so just imagine any mythological serial what you might have seen in your past. So you see all the golden light and the fog and that atmosphere where the light is very soft, correct? So such scenarios of soft light which will give you a divine feeling, smoothness. You might have seen various baby product advertisements. You might have seen various cosmetic advertisements. So that, or when you see the ice cream advertisements also, the type of light what you feel, that gives you a very soft look, correct? So those type, So those types of feeling normally are achieved when we have a soft light. When it is a strong light, like when we are shooting some sports or something like that, so strong light really helps us to basically capture the characters of that particular object. So just imagine yourself when you are about to leave your house somewhere around 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Okay, so you feel really more energetic. Now the answer may be different, that अरे फिर से office जाना पड़ रहा है, फिर से college, that is a different thing. But actually, if you see the timing between 10 to 11 or 9:30 to 11, that is a very energetic. You feel cheerful, you feel colorful, you feel vibrant. And the moment the sun is on the overhead, you feel very lazy. You have a aggression. You have a feeling of inactiveness. You feel irritating. You feel tired. And for every small thing, you start expressing anger. So this is how the quality of the light also basically matters a lot when we are shooting some subject. So just keep this point in your mind that the quality of the light is very, very important to shoot. Now, just again going back to the example of Taj Mahal. Okay, now what is the characteristics of Taj Mahal? Okay, forget about Taj Mahal. Your own Kolhapur district we'll talk about. And now you have a Mahalakshmi temple. What is the characteristics of that Mahalakshmi temple? How do you see Mahalakshmi temple as such? What do you feel when you see that Mahalakshmi temple?
Heritage site.
Heritage site. That is the physical attribute. See, that is the what is the characteristics when I'm talking about character? What feel that temple gives you? It's more of a divine place, correct?
Huh.
Correct. So if you want to capture the divinity of that temple, okay, then what sort of light you should be shooting in? If you are standing in 12 o'clock sunlight, and if you're trying to capture the divinity of the temple, probably you will not see the divinity of the temple. You will see more of a rugged structure of that particular temple as an architecture. Correct. You will see more of a molds of that temple. You will see more of a texture of that temple, but you will not see the divinity of that temple. Correct. दुपारी 12 वाजता महालक्ष्मीच्या देवळासमोर उभा राहिल्यानंतर भक्तिभाव जागा होईल का? सिंपल प्रश्न आहे, घामाच्या धारा लागलेल्या असताना. अवघड आहे ना?
Yes.
Correct. So that is what I'm trying to say. So light plays a very, very important role. It gives us some sort of feeling. आपण आपल्या साध्या आपण कधी कधी एखाद्या अंधाऱ्या खोलीत गेलो, तिथे कोणी बसलेलं जरी नसलं तरी we feel that place is a very nervous, gloomy, or that place appears to be in a very isolation. Correct? Right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Correct. So that is how we should see that what is the quality of the light which is existing when we are shooting, and whether it is helping that particular subject what we are shooting when we are trying to capture the photograph. So there is nothing right or wrong type of light, what I'm trying to say here. So it is ultimately what you would like to show in your photograph that becomes very, very important. And accordingly, you need to select the quality of the light, and select the quality of the light in the sense that accordingly you need to be available, make yourself available to that place, particularly when that quality of the light exists on that place. So that is what I'm trying to explain here. So now these are some scenarios when this type of light exists. So weak light exists before sunrise or after sunset, or maybe when there are dark shades, dark indoors, thick overcast skies, or maybe in a foggy situation, and when the light is reflected from the dark surfaces. So this type of light is existing is called as a weak light, or these are the scenarios. When do soft light exist? Soft light exists after sunrise for 1 to 1.5 hours, or before sunset 1 to 1.5 hours. Bright shades, bright indoors, thin clouds, haze, light reflected from the bright surfaces, or the bigger source of light. When it exists, that time it is a soft light. When does the strong light exist? Somewhere between 8 to 11, and maybe in the afternoon 2 to 5 p.m. And hard light exists somewhere between 11 to 2 p.m. or maybe the narrow source of light. Now these are basically season specific timings. Slightly it may get shifted, or maybe geography wise this timings may get shifted, but by and large this is the phenomena which is observed, right? So any questions on this? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, good. So now just I have just given you the examples over here. Okay, so now this is the example of the weak light. Now the left hand side image is again the image. Now you can see that the light, there are two types of light which exist. If you see in the background over here, so this is a bright light, but here this is a very weak light, and you will see that this monument is in very sort of isolation, neglected or something like this. And even the right hand side image, this was shot immediately after the sunset. Can you identify the right hand side image?
इमेज आयडेंटिफाय करू शकताय का?
शनिवार वाडा आहे पुण्यातला तो. जस्ट सनसेट झाल्यानंतर एक म्हणजे एक सॉर्ट ऑफ आयसोलेशन देण्यासाठी शनिवारवाड्याची ही इमेज घेतलेली. सो दिस आर दी एक्झाम्पल्स ऑफ दी वीक लाईट इमेजेस. अगेन दिस टू इमेजेस. एका कॉफी शॉप मध्ये बसलो तो, लाईट वीक होता, काहीच नाही. कॅन यू फील दॅट इट इज अ लोनली एम्प्टीनेस जाणवते त्या इमेज मध्ये?
येस सर.
दोन्ही इमेजेस मध्ये, राईट हँड साइड आणि लेफ्ट हँड साइड इमेजेस मध्ये.
येस सर.
So this is the mood which has been captured. Physical attributes पण सांगेन मी, एक्सप्लेन करेन पुढे, तो पण टॉपिक आहे. This is the soft light. Natural light, soft light, just after sunrise, and one is after before sunset. Can you feel that the very soft feeling in the photograph?
Yes sir.
This is the strong light. Now you can see in the strong light, you can feel the strength of that stones, correct?
Yes sir.
This is also strong light. हे पुण्याच्या जवळ निगोज म्हणून जागा आहे, जिथे रांजण खळगे ज्याला आपण म्हणतो, मीन्स खळगे झालेले नदीच्या ह्याच्यामुळे. सो दीज आर दी स्टोन्स केव्स व्हॉट हॅव बीन कॅप्चर्ड. सो हे एक्झाम्पल्स काही होते, म्हणजे वीक लाईट, सॉफ्ट लाईट, स्ट्रॉंग लाईट आणि हार्ड लाईट. सो अंडरस्टूड हाऊ द लाईट क्रिएट्स सम इमोशन्स और मूड्स इन युअर माइंड. एक प्रकारचा फील देतात ते आपल्याला. नाउ अगेन द नेक्स्ट पॅरामीटर इज अबाउट द डिरेक्शन ऑफ लाईट. डिरेक्शन ऑफ लाईट जे असतात हे आपल्याला दिस बेसिकली एम्फसाइजेस ऑन द फिजिकल ऍट्रिब्यूट्स ऑफ द ऑब्जेक्ट. सो मेनली लाईट जेव्हा येतो, लाईट हा 4 बाजूनी येत असतो. मान्य, अमान्य, काय? तुम्ही म्हणाल माझ्या 4ही बाजूनी लाईट आहे. Agreed or do you have any disagreement on this? Light comes from 4 directions. Either of the direction the light comes. कारण आकाशात सूर्य एकच आहे. लाईट एका बाजूने आला तर दुसऱ्या बाजूला काय होतं? शॅडो येतं. So light comes from only one direction, and it can only come from either of the 4 directions, right? So either it can come from front, it can come from side, it can come from top, it can come from back, correct? And what happens when the light comes from either of the directions? So when the light is coming from the front direction, okay, when I'm talking about the direction, I'm not talking about the direction of the from the with respect to the photographer, but with respect to the subject. So what do you mean by front light? So suppose I am shooting a subject and subject is in front of me, and the light source is from my back. My back means from the back of the photographer, and it is falling directly on the subject. That is called as a front light. When the light is coming from the either left side or the right side of the subject, that is called as a side light. When the light is coming from the top of the subject, that is called as a top light. When light is coming from the back side of the subject, that is called as a back light. Okay, so these all directions will basically emphasize some of the physical attributes. So what are those physical attributes we have seen in the earlier slide? We have lines, we have shapes, we have contrast, we have forms or molds, we have shades or tones, we have color, we have texture, we have patterns, mass, solidity. So these are the basically some of the physical attributes which are getting emphasized. So now let's talk about the front direction. When the light is coming from the front direction, the lines are getting emphasized, the shape is getting emphasized, the color is getting emphasized, and the mass is getting emphasized. So rest, contrast, form, shades, texture, pattern, solidity, they do exist, but the camera is not able to basically highlight those physical attributes. But as a human eye, those corrections are getting applied in our mind, and we can see all those things. When the light is coming from the side direction, we can see lines, shape, and what is more emphasized is the contrast, mold, shades, textures, patterns, and solidity. Just an example, if you're sitting in a room right now, and if the light is coming from either of the side directions, now you just see that anyone's person, you can just see face, the half face is lit, half face is in slightly shadow, and you can see the depth in the face. But the moment the light is coming from the front side, you lose whole mold of the face, and you can only see the shape of the face. The mold is not that prominent what you can see in the side light. The same thing happens in the top light. Top light, you can see lines more prominently, shapes, contrast, and the texture of a vertical subject is seen more prominently. We'll see those examples also. And from the backlight, you can see shape, contrast, forms, and texture of the horizontal subject. So this is how the light will emphasize on typical sort of physical attributes of the subject. Now, from architecture photography point of view, we really need to take into the consideration that when we are shooting some architectures, we are shooting some shapes, we are shooting some forms, we are trying to shoot some textures, we are trying to shoot some patterns, we are trying to show some solidity of that particular object or architecture, we are trying to shoot some mass of that object. So these all parameters are again associated with the architecture photography, and this is true for any type of photography also. So when we are talking about the photographic attributes, so there are some composition elements also which needs to be included. But just before going into this topic, do we have any questions till now?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Now, being all of you more expert than me in the design aspect, so when we talk about the compositions, okay, we need to consider three things when we are doing some photographic compositions. One is principles of designs in photographic compositions, which are called as a golden section, rule of third, golden triangle, golden spiral. Probably you are already aware of this as an architect. Are you aware of this these principles of design?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Perfect. Then elements of design in photography aspect, that is the line, shape, patterns. We are going to see what are those. And then the colors in, so these are the three aspects what we all the time need to consider when we are doing any photographic compositions. So these are the examples when we say golden section or the mean. So golden section was something which was basically ancient Greeks have first devised this golden section. So now if you see that this is the frame what we have. So one part is in the 1/3 and rest 2/3 is in on the other side. So this is called nothing but the golden section rule, what we call. Then the next associated rule to it is the rule of thirds. So rule of third means if we divide the frame, that is the rectangle, in three equal parts, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 horizontally, and 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 vertically. So these are the basically the grids, what we can say. We can use this as a reference for our compositions, and we can place our subjects when we are shooting the photographs. Then again, we can see that whenever we place subjects, the first rule of the photography is that normally what we follow, that we don't keep any subject in center. That is the first rule of the photography. That is what it is called as a rule of third. And why it is like that? Because it creates some rhythm in the picture. If the subject is placed in the center, the viewer's attention directly goes into the center, and the picture starts appearing very stubborn, very static, like our passport photographs. So it is expected that the viewer's eye should run throughout the photograph. It should not move out of the photograph, but it should be within the photograph. And that is why we place our pictures in either of these corners, 4 corners. And when we are shooting particularly landscapes, so someone said in the beginning that we are shooting some scenes. So we place our horizon either on the lower third or either on the upper third. So if we are placing the horizon on the lower third, it creates the vastness. And if we are placing our horizon on the upper third, it creates the depth in the picture. So this is how the impact changes. Then again, the next principle of design is the golden triangle. Suppose if you have scenes like this, where we have diagonal lines running and some sort of implied triangles are being formed. So that is called as a golden triangle rule. Or maybe another rule is called as a golden spiral rule. So when we are shooting something, flowers or something like that, so you keep the main subject eccentric, and you will see that this shape is getting evolved over here. So you might have heard about the Fibonacci principle, right? Probably architect might be knowing this principle. So these are the principles of designs by and large what we normally use in compositions. Then there are some elements of design like lines, shape, and patterns. So, and each thing has its own significance. So when we talk about lines, the lines can be vertical lines or horizontal lines. This can be the curved lines. So straight lines and curved lines are considered to be the two types of lines in by and large. So and these lines also convey the meaning. So the lines conveys the meaning, like when we are drawing a thick line, so it gives a sense of stability. When the line is thin, it gives a sense of weakness and have a very less impact. And the straight lines appears to be more stable, rigid, and reliable, whereas the curved line appears to be more softy, curvy, and relaxed feeling. So these are the emotions which are ultimately these physical attributes are also giving us when we are looking at the photographs. And this becomes a very powerful and strongest visual element in your photograph. So that is why the understanding the elements of design when shooting any photographic composition plays a very, very important role. So again, these are some of the examples. The horizontal lines, as we have seen, express stability and calmness. So you can see these are the two examples of the horizontal line where we see a picture is very, very stable, no dynamism involved in that. Whereas vertical lines, if you see, these are the vertical lines, you see the lines running from bottom to top. They create some strength, they create some power, they create some assertiveness. Whereas diagonal lines are something like this on the bottom right hand side photographs. So they create some dynamism in the picture. They also add more energy to the picture. And whereas curved lines, if you see over here, these curved lines, so these curved lines are basically more of a restful mood and add some movements to the picture. So now you can see that something is running across, and you can see these are giving a very relaxed feels. So this is how the curved lines are also basically giving us the emotions or creating some moods or visual impact on the picture. So this is how the next shapes what we normally see. Okay, so apart from lines, we have shapes. So this is also one of the shape what we can see. This is also shape. These are also the shapes what we see. Okay, so they when we are shooting shapes, if you recollect this slide, what I've shown, that when we are shooting some shapes, we normally should get emphasized when the lighting is front. Now in this particular case, the lighting is from the back side. So you can see the light here in this case. So you can see a shape over here of the shape of the tree you can see, but you cannot see any color, you cannot see any texture of the tree. So that is what we call it as a shape. And that is how the backlighting will create a very good silhouettes, and that will eliminate the texture and pattern. So as I said here, you cannot see any texture over here. You can see just a black line which is coming in. Again, in case of circles, if you can see, these are the two photographs here. You can shoot full circles, you can shoot semicircles, which again gives you a very good impact on your picture. So whole circle gives you the completeness, unity, and the semicircles also, which will give you some relaxed moods or something like this. Then we also have shapes like circle, squares, and rectangles. So you can see the example of this building. So all you can see the graphics or like image like squares and rectangles in this picture. So that basically gives you a structure to the image and stability to the image. And again, one more shape what we can see is the triangles which are formed here like this. So they also represent stability, endurance, and strength of the image. So we need to look for such shapes. So now these shapes are basically highlighted only when a particular direction of light is basically available for all of us. Okay, so that is how we identify what to shoot and what not to shoot. Again, the one more physical attribute what we have seen in our earlier slide, that is the patterns. Okay, now if it is only one object, we cannot call it as a pattern. It is just an instance. Two is, as I said, mentioned here, that it is an accident, but three or more makes pattern. Like you can see the oranges which are cut here. So they are creating some patterns, or this roof, they are also creating the pattern. These curved lines are creating the patterns over here. Or even this architecture image is creating a pattern. This fence is creating a pattern. So patterns, when they are taken with some close-ups, they create a more strong visual impact, and they also gives a sense of regulatory rhythm and predictability in the picture. So this is how the patterns are basically perceived. Then last one as a composition element is the colors. So human eyes are very much overpowered by the colors. The moment before we see anything, we see the color first. So we need to understand the color theory also. So when we are shooting something, for example, if you go to places like Jaipur or something like that, where the architecture is very colorful as well as very beautiful designs you can see over there. So we need to understand colors. So we need to understand what is the primary color. We need to understand what is the secondary color, whether this color harmony is going with the other one or not. So that all that study, that is a complete different study altogether. And that is, you can acquire only by looking, observing at the things again and again, over and over again and again. And that is the basically practice what is required to perceive the colors in much right way. A wrong selection of colors will totally damage your image. So that is also one need to understand the color harmony theory of this. So this was all about the more of a technical aspects of the photography. So any questions? Because I'm going to start with the examples where if you have any questions, you can ask me questions, stop me there and there itself when I'm showing the images. Any questions before this?
आता हा बोल.
No questions? Okay, fine. We'll move on. So, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, Bhargav is asking that why black and white photographs have more impact on us rather than a colorful photograph.
Black and who Bhargav is asking, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You will see some examples why. I'll explain you when to shoot black and white and when to shoot color, and that probably will explain. I'll be able to answer your question that moment. I'll park this question for a moment. Any other questions before this? Before I move on?
Yeah, just a minute.
You said that we can't place an object at a center, but sometimes we need it compulsory to place the object at a center to get the focus on it. So,
yeah.
So why did you say that we can't place it?
Okay. See, what happens is that if we place an object in a center, it's not that it's a rule, okay? It's a guideline. So when we place any subject in a center, what happens is that if you are pursuing photography in the form of art, okay, or maybe per se example, since you are the students of the architecture, if you see something in a center which is getting focused, okay, so the whole viewer's attention goes only into the center to the main subject. And me, if I'm showing my photograph as an artist to someone, I would like that the viewer's attention should be uh, across the photograph what I have shot. So that is one thing we are basically trying to avoid, to shoot the subject in the center. Of course, there are some exceptions where we need to shoot, where we are made to shoot, forced to shoot the subject by keeping that in center. For example, when we are trying to shoot some reflections or something like that. But the subject in the center, so that loses its art value most of the time, and the subject remains very static. But yes, from architecture point of view, sometimes you may have to keep the subject in the center. But then in that case, there are some different rules which are also applicable, or the guidelines which are applicable, because otherwise the picture becomes very, very dead in that case, and we lose the whole beauty of the photograph. So, but if you are taking the photograph for the record purpose, definitely you can take the, you can keep your subject in the center. That's not a problem. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any more questions?
No, sir.
Okay. So now we have seen some compositions rules or guidelines. So ultimately what composition means is that basically arrange all the subjective elements in a harmonized way. That is what we call it as a composition. So just to summarize very quickly, so the first point itself is that have a center of interest. So there should be only main subject when you are shooting the photograph. If there are multiple subjects which are acting as a main subject, then the whole interest gets divided, and viewer cannot basically identify what is the author trying to show in the photograph. Of course, this is from the artistic point of view. You can again, as a record photographer, when we are taking like a group photograph, okay, so there cannot be only one main key subject, so that becomes an exception. So again, the question which I have just answered, that is keep the main subject off center. That is, we call it as a rule of third. Okay, so as I explained that the subject appears to be rigid, stubborn, and static when the subject is in exactly center. So that's the second thing what we should consider. Get close to the subject. So when we say get close to the subject, there are two ways to get close to the subject. Either physically you go to the subject, or maybe with the long lenses, telephoto lenses, you can go close to the subject. At times it is possible to go to the physically go close to the subject, but at times it may not be possible. So, but whatever you want to show out of that particular thing, you can have both the approaches. Then watch the backgrounds when we are shooting subjects. So very bad, disturbing backgrounds, too busy backgrounds will pull the attention of the viewer from the main subject, losing the focus on the subject. So avoid having too many subjects in the background when you're shooting the main subject. Then always keep the horizon straight and off center. Many times you might have seen that the horizon photos are tilted. So of course you can take tilted photos, no doubt, but then majority of the times when we are trying to take the architecture photographs or landscape photographs, keep those horizon straight. Tilted horizon will appear like things are falling out of the photograph. So that's the thing what we normally follow. Okay, and as I explained that when we in the earlier slide, that when we are shooting something, and where should we place the horizon? We can place the horizon either in the lower third or the upper third. So upper third will add the sense of depth, and the lower third will add the sense of vastness in the image. So that's the thing what we need to consider over here. Then check for different angles. Just the moment you start, means you see the subject, don't just start shooting the subject. Relax, kill your excitement first, because excitement will only result in damaging your photograph quality, output. See it from the different places before you take the photograph. Once you are sure that, oh, this is the best angle what I'm going to see, So you may have to sit, you may have to kneel down, you may have to sleep on the ground, you may have to climb. Okay, so look from various angles and try to take the best angles, whatever the possible. So there is no right or wrong rule, particularly that, okay, now somebody may ask in at the end of the this webinar that, okay, how do I hold my mobile? What angle I should be taking? No, there is nothing specific that we are going to follow. It depends on what you are shooting. It depends on how we want to shoot and how we want to see our final image. Then frame the subject. So there are examples of frame the subject. Probably you may not understand right now. I'll show you in the examples. Then look for the leading lines. So there should be some leading lines which are leading the human eye viewing your photograph to the main subject. So I'll showcase you those examples also. So probably this may not give you right now what is the imagery which is required. Include size indicators. Now this is very, very probably useful when we are doing the architecture photography. Suppose if you want to show the height of the building, just by shooting that particular one building, you may not be able to understand what is the height of the building. So if you have some small building or short building, probably that will give you the sense of scale of that particular building, what you are trying to shoot. Study the contrast. Then that makes a very big difference. Like where black and white, dark, brights, highlights and shadows, emotions like laughing and crying, happy and sad. So these are all the examples of contrast. So this will add some more mood to your photograph. Then at times you have to change the format. So sometimes we shoot in a landscape mode or sometimes we shoot in a portrait mode. So when we say landscape mode, that is the horizontal frame. So it gives a vastness. And when we take the frame vertical, it shows you the height of the subject. So this also example we can see in the subsequent photographs. So these are the few guidelines what we can follow when we are taking the photographs. Now I'll just start with the examples. Okay, now this is just a lighthouse. Okay, then what is the main subject over here? Lighthouse, right?
Yes, sir. Lighthouse.
So now, see, this cloud is acting as a leading line and it is taking the viewer's attention to the lighthouse. So this is what we have seen, that look for the leading lines. Okay, so this cloud is acting as a leading line, and see, my subject again is the off center. The main subject is in 1/3. So had it been a case that if I have kept it in the center, probably your viewer attention would have been only fixed in the center. It would not have moved across the photograph. So this is one example. This is the nightscape, or you can say landscape. Can you see a leading line over here?
Leading lights कुठे दिसतात?
Yes, sir. On the pathway.
On the pathway, perfect. So this is the horizontal line which I have kept it in the lower third, and the pathway is the leading line. So whosoever has answered is correct. Okay, so see, the same rules I have followed over here. So you can see that the pathway is creating a leading line. So this is the implied leading line, what we can say. And again, you can see the horizon is at the lower third, and it is showing the spread of the city, correct? So that is how the horizon, whether you want to keep it on the lower third or you want to keep it on the upper third, you need to take a call. If you remember, one of the thing what I mentioned, change the format, horizontal format and vertical format. Can you identify the difference? Now this is the architecture. This is the golden temple, you can say, of Japan. Can you identify what perspective difference you can see over here?
बोला रे.
आवाज येत नाही मला.
Sir, she's saying that the first picture is like kind of elevational, and the second picture is more like a perspective.
Okay, both are perspective, to be very honest.
First picture shows the height and second picture shows the shape of the building.
Yeah, first picture tells the height, correct? So this vertical format gives an idea about what is the height of the uh, of architecture, correct? The second picture may not, on the right hand side, may not give you that same impact of the height. What is the height of the architecture if you compare both the images? Now, someone asked me, why don't you keep the image in center? Now, if you see the horizon, I have placed it in center. This is the horizon line, horizontal line. And you can see the reflection is falling over here, correct? So this is an exception over here. But still, the main building, I have kept it to the right side third actually. And if you can see, this is showing the height of the monument. And in this particular right hand side picture, it is more showing me the spread of the area of that particular architecture. This is how it really makes a big difference with the change in the format. This one. What shapes do you see in this? Do you see shape? Do you see texture? Do you see molds? What do you see in this picture?
Contrast.
Contrast, obviously, it is there. Yes.
We can see the shikhara in pyramidal shape.
Yeah, you can see that these are the triangles which are available here, correct? And you can see this particular is forming a pattern, correct?
Yeah.
And again, these are basically the leading lines which are taking your viewer's attention towards the main subject. Fine. Of course, my photographs are from the art point of view. Okay, but then again, it is an architecture photograph. Had it been just a case that I would have only ignored this particular area and had taken, nothing would have been wrong. But then it would not have created that flow in the photograph. That's my point. You, as a student of architecture, may ignore this completely and directly take this part. This part. That is also okay. Now, I was talking about the frame in frame. This is also the architecture. Now, you can see now, this is the main frame. The main photograph is the main frame. And in this, again, you have this frame available here. You have this frame available here. You have this frame available here. So this is called as a frame in frame. This is the heritage building of the Deccan College in Pune. Again, you can see the example of frame in frame. You can see this is the main subject over here, and it is framed in. It's framed in within the frame. So that is what is called as a frame in frame. This is also the architecture of Mahatji Shinde Chhatri in Pune. So here I had gone too close to the subject in this particular image with the long lens because the door was too far. Okay. So this is how you can artistically take the photographs. And you can see, particularly in this photograph, you can see the design over here. You can see the design here. You can see the design over here. And in this particular photograph, I was since very far away. I could not go close to the photograph. I had to use long lenses to basically capture this design part also. And even this shape also, and how the door is placed also. Understood what is the meaning of frame in frame or framing the subject?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now this is the photograph from one of the temple near Pune, Bhuleshwar. Have you heard about this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is one of the oldest temple from the time of Shivaji Maharaj, actually. So this was ruined, actually. Some ruins are still there. So the idols were shot, and you can see what is the objective of shooting this idol. Idols? Can anyone tell me what exactly you see in this idol? So if you recollect the physical attributes, that is the lines, shapes, forms, mold, texture, patterns, what do you see in these photographs? or maybe per se when you are shooting this sort of idols, what will be the first impression in your mind?
So we can clearly see the texture over here.
You can see the texture, you can see the mold also, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now there was a question, why black and white photographs looks better than color photographs, right?
Yes, sir.
Something similar. So now, first thing, of course, it is a personal test whether you like a black and white photograph or a color photograph. Someone may like color photographs, someone may like black and white photographs. Okay, but now if you ask me why these photographs are you made in the black and white, so and what do you like, whether do you like color or you like black and white? So I personally like black and whites, but not all the time black and whites will work best. Now, why then I have made these photographs black and white? Because there are no colors available in this particular photos. So when you shoot a black stone, it is a black stone. Already it is a black. So there are no colors to be shown over here. So that is why I've converted into black and white to show the contrast, to show the texture, and to because that can be seen more prominently in the black and white. Okay, so and the mold can be emphasized, the texture can be emphasized in this particular image when I convert it into black and white. So that's the simple reason, and no colors were available. That is the one of the major reason of converting into the photograph into black and white. So hope you got the answer.
Yes, sir.
Okay, same again, from the same temple you will see that now again majority of the time you feel that the shadows are not recommended, but you see the shadows are adding depth to the picture over here, even here also. So light and even these shadows also. So shadows are your friends. Making use of shadows skillfully, looking at the shadows properly will create depth in your picture. Okay, so don't be afraid of shadows. So now in this particular photographs also, when I was capturing the monument or the idols, the whole thing what I kept in my mind was, one of the thing is the molds, another thing was the texture. Okay, and the third thing was the patterns. So you can see the repetition of these pillars is the patterns. Understood?
Yes, sir.
This is the image of bridge. What is the feeling you are getting after looking at this bridge?
Feeling.
What kind of feeling will you?
What kind of feeling you
Are you
have?
able to understand the mass of the bridge, solidity of the bridge, or strength of the bridge?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is what I wanted to show, the solidity, mass, and strength of the bridge. And to show this, what was required was the texture which was, or the mold which was basically required on this bridge. If had it been a light, and you see that this is a sort of top light, correct? Light is coming from the top over here, everywhere, correct? And which is creating the texture of this bricks. That is why if you recollect the earlier slide, that top light shows the texture of the vertical objects. So this was the situation. That is why I shot this particular photograph. Any guesses? Where are these places? This was shot with the intention of shapes. Rectangle, again a rectangle and triangle. This was shot with the intention of this patterns. Able to understand? Any guesses? Have you seen these places?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
बघितलेत का?
कुठला आहे?
Mahabaleshwar.
महाबळेश्वर, क्षेत्र महाबळेश्वर जवळचं कृष्णाई टेम्पल आहे. आणि हे वाई. ह्यात काय दिसतंय? पॅटर्न्स, मोल्ड्स, लाईन्स, कॉन्ट्रास्ट.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is from one of the church, shot with the intention of colors. You can see more of a colors. या पिक्चर मध्ये डेप्थ दिसते का कुठे? डेप्थ फारशी जाणवतच नाही या पिक्चर मध्ये. ऍक्च्युली this to this wall maybe 4 to 5 feet distance, but तेवढं डेप्थ जाणवत नाही की नाही, बिकॉज द लाईट वॉज प्रिटी फ्लॅट. फ्रंट लाईट होता, माझ्या मागच्या बाजूने लाईट येत होता. But what was important here is these colors, all these colors which are available here. So the color was one of the important factor, and that is why I had shot this. म्हणजे ह्याच्यात तुम्हाला मेनली शेप्स आणि कलर जास्त दिसतात. ही वास्तू कुठली आहे माहिती आहे? शनिवार वाड्यावरती जाऊन आलात का कधी?
शनिवार वाड्याच्या आतून बाहेर.
हा नाना फडणवीस वाडा आहे शनिवार वाड्याच्या मागच्या बाजूला, तेच आहे. सो दिस वॉज शॉट विथ what you call this? काय म्हणतात ह्याला?
Arches.
हा,
Arches.
आर्चेस बरोबर आहे, पण आता मगाशी आपण थोड्या वेळापूर्वी फोटोग्राफिक टर्म्स मध्ये काय म्हणलं ह्याला?
Pattern.
पॅटर्न्स. परफेक्ट. ही बघितली वास्तू?
No, sir. No, sir.
हे पुण्याचा आगा खान पॅलेस आहे. सो अगेन तुम्ही इथे बघाल तर हा शेप मेनली, आणि त्याच्यात तयार होणारे हे पॅटर्न्स म्हणजे हे डिझाईन्स. आणि इथे बघितलं तर नाव यू कॅन सी द लाईट. हा इथे होता, हा थोडासा डायगनली वरनं होता, त्यामुळे इथून ते इथपर्यंत जी डेप्थ क्रिएट झाली आहे. सो डेप्थ आणि पॅटर्न्स हा कॅप्चर केला गेला ह्या फोटोग्राफ्स मध्ये. इवन दिस फोटोग्राफ इज सेम, दिस इज ऑल्सो सेम. आलं लक्षात? काही क्वेश्चन्स असतील तर विचारा मला, म्हणजे मी जस्ट तुम्हाला एक्झाम्पल्स म्हणून दाखवतोय. इथे काय दिसतंय?
Texture.
टेक्स्चर आणि मोल्ड्स, बरोबर ना? मोल्ड्स म्हणजे हे जे हा जो बैल जो कोरलेला आहे ह्याच्यावरती, आणि किंवा हे जे चित्र कोरलेले आहेत, सो हे सगळे जे आहेत बॅकग्राऊंड टू फोरग्राऊंड मध्ये जर तुम्ही बघितलं तर हे सगळे डेप्थ ह्याच्यात दिसते ना. दिस टू दिस, दिस टू दिस, हे इथे टेक्स्चर दिसतंय, बरोबर? सो टेक्स्चर आणि मोल्ड्स बेसिकली हे घेतलेले. हे महाबलीपुरम म्हणून जागा ऐकली आहे का कधी नाव?
ऐकलंय का महाबलीपुरम?
चेन्नईच्या जवळ महाबलीपुरम म्हणून एक जागा आहे, जिथे अशा भरपूर आर्किटेक्चर्स आहेत, जिथे दगडात कोरलेले अशा गोष्टी आहेत. सो खूप सुंदर सुंदर कलाकृती केलेल्या आहेत तिकडे. सगळे असे म्हणजे सँड कलरचे स्टोन्स आहेत, आणि म्हणजे फोटोग्राफीच्या दृष्टीने, आर्किटेक्चर शिकण्याच्या दृष्टीने सुद्धा खूप मस्त जागा आहे ती. त्याच्यात तिथे जर अजून काही ठिकाणी असे की तिथे तो कृष्णाज बटरबॉल, तुम्ही जर इंटरनेटवरती सर्च करून बघितलं तर कृष्णाज बटरबॉल म्हणून एक आहे जागा. तर एका म्हणजे आपण ज्याला सर्कलला जी काय म्हणतात त्याला टँजंट जी असते ना, तो एक पॉइंट, त्याच्यावरती तो खूप अवाढव्य एक असा दगड उभा आहे. तुम्ही काही करा तो हलणार नाही तिकडनं. आणि त्याच्यावरती तिथे म्हणजे जुनी जी कटिंग टेक्नॉलॉजी ऑफ दी स्टोन्स, व्हॉट वी कॅन से, ती अप्रतिम आहे तिकडे. म्हणजे ती कुठल्या शस्त्राने केली हे अजूनपर्यंत समजलं गेलेलं नाहीये. त्याच्यात तुम्ही जर तुम्ही ड्रिल मारायचा प्रयत्न केला किंवा काय करायचं त्याच्यात ते सहजासहजी ते ड्रिल्स होत नाहीत, म्हणजे अजूनपर्यंत झालेलेच नाही आहेत. पण ज्या पद्धतीने दगड कापला गेलाय किंवा जेवढं क्लीन काम केलेलं आहे त्या पद्धतीने त्या काळात कसं काम केलं असेल हा एक मोठा अभ्यासाचा विषय होऊन बसला तिकडच्या लोकांसाठी सगळं. खूप सुंदर जागा आहे, कधी जर चान्स मिळाला तर बघून या. कमिंग फ्रॉम हेरिटेज फोटोग्राफी टू दी नॉर्मल मॉडर्न आर्किटेक्चर्स. आता इथपासून हे जे फोटोज आहेत, इथपर्यंत जे फोटोज होते हे सगळे मी प्रोफेशनल कॅमेराज वरती काढलेले फोटो आहेत. आता इथनं पुढचे जे फोटो आहेत हे सगळे मोबाईल वरती काढलेले फोटोज आहेत. तुम्हाला दोन्ही मधला फरक किंवा दोन्ही गोष्टी कशा इफेक्टिव्हली वापरता येतात हे तुम्हाला दाखवण्याचा मूळ उद्देश आहे. हा एका बिल्डिंगचा फोटो घेतलेला आहे नॉर्मल मोबाईलनी. बिल्डिंगचं आर्किटेक्चर कळते इथे.
लाईन्स
Lines.
ग्रीड तयार केली आहे, व्हर्टिकल, हॉरिझॉन्टल.
Professional building आणि yes sir, we can see the glass facade.
करेक्ट. ही जागा जी आहे गोव्यामध्ये आहे. ही जागा लॅटिन क्वार्टर्स म्हणून एक जागा आहे. ही पोर्तुगीज च्या काळापासून बांधलेली ही वसाहत आहे. हे सुद्धा मोबाईल वरती घेतलेले फोटोज आहेत. सो ह्या खूप जुन्या बिल्डिंग्स आहेत, जवळजवळ 350-400 वर्ष जुन्या असतील कदाचित ह्या बिल्डिंग्स. ह्या दरवर्षी पेंट केल्या जातात. लॅटिन क्वार्टर पणजीमध्ये आहे. सो हा बेसिकली ही डायगनल लाईन, हा सर्कल आणि ही लाईन, हा शेप जो आहे तो कन्सिडर करून हा फोटो घेतलेला. अगेन कलर पॅटर्न जर बघितले तर हे सिमिलर फॅमिली मधले आहेत. सो दॅट इज व्हॉट प्रॉम्प्टेड मी टू टेक दी फोटोग्राफ्स. इथे बघितलं तर हा सुद्धा ग्रीन कलर प्लस पॅटर्न्स, हे 3 पॅटर्न्स मुळे गेले. हे सुद्धा मोबाईल वरचे फोटोग्राफ्स आहेत. सो मोबाईल वरती पण तुम्ही एवढे चांगले फोटोग्राफ्स घेऊ शकता. हे 2 आर्किटेक्चर्स मोबाईल वरतीच घेतलेले फोटोज आहेत. म्हणजे तुम्ही आता तुमच्या आर्किटेक्चरच्या दृष्टीने जर बघितलं तर तुम्हाला काय बिल्डिंगचं कन्स्ट्रक्शन आहे, काय शेप आहे हे लक्षात येते व्यवस्थित.
Yes sir.
करेक्ट. तो हे मी जेव्हा जपानला गेलो होतो तेव्हा घेतलेले फोटोज आहेत मोबाईल वरती. सो दिस इज दी बेसिकली शेप ऑफ द बिल्डिंग विच आय वॉन्टेड टू शो. आणि त्याच्यावरचा हा कलर, लाईटची डिरेक्शन कुठने सांगता येऊ शकते फोटो बघून? माझ्या मागणे, कारण शॅडो तुम्हाला कुठेच दिसत नाही या फोटोमध्ये, बरोबर ना?
Yes sir.
करेक्ट. त्यामुळे हा कलर एकदम प्रॉमिनंट झालेला आहे. आणि हा मागणं माझा लाईट असल्यामुळे ह्याच्या बिल्डिंगचे मोल्ड्स इथे क्रिएट झालेले आहेत खिडक्यांचे. इथे दिसतात हे इथून इथे. इथे तुम्हाला लाईटचा एक हायलाइट दिसतो ना, म्हणजे माझा मागणं लाईट होता तो. अगेन इन दिस केस इथे तुम्ही बघाल तर लाईटची डिरेक्शन इथनं आहे. ह्या झाडांच्या सावल्या इकडे पडल्यात बघा इकडे. आणि हा कलर आणि लाईट साइड मधनं आल्यामुळे ह्या बिल्डिंग मधला जो ह्या 2 पिलर्स मध्ये ज्याला काय आपण म्हणतो त्याच्यात ती एक डेप्थ क्रिएट झाली आहे, बरोबर? सो दिस इज हाऊ यू नीड टू सी द लाईट. आता हाच जर तुम्ही ह्या बिल्डिंगचा फोटो जर समजा तुम्हाला हे अशा बिल्डिंगचं जर स्ट्रक्चर दाखवायचं असेल तर तो लाईट जर माझ्या मागच्या बाजूने आला असता तर हे स्ट्रक्चर तुम्हाला दिसलं नसतं, एकदम फ्लॅट दिसलं असतं स्ट्रक्चर. जसं या बिल्डिंग मध्ये तुम्हाला इथून इथपर्यंत, इथून इथलं आणि म्हणजे ह्या वॉल टू ह्या विंडो मधलं जे तुम्हाला डेप्थ जाणवत नाहीये ती डेप्थ इथे तुम्हाला जाणवली नसती ह्या बिल्डिंगच्या बाबतीत जर समजा लाईट माझ्या मागणं असतं तर. सो हे जर दाखवायचं असेल तर लाईट पण किती महत्वाचं आहे, डिरेक्शन किती महत्वाचं आहे हे समजणं पण खूप आवश्यक असतं. हा सुद्धा मोबाईलवर घेतलेला फोटो आहे. सर्कल हा बेसिकली हा शेप ह्याच्यासाठी घेतलेला फोटो आहे. हा एका स्टेशनचा घेतलेला फोटो आहे जुना, जस्ट फॉर द शेप अँड द कलर्स. आता इथे लाईट एका कुठल्या पर्टिक्युलर डिरेक्शन मधनं नाहीये, कारण तुम्ही जर बघितलं तर पूर्ण क्लाउडी एन्व्हायरमेंट आहे हे सगळं आणि एकदम रिकामं स्टेशन होतं. एकदम असा शांत फील असा होता इकडे, त्यामुळे तो हा फोटो घेतलेला, पण मेनली फॉर द शेप ऑफ द बिल्डिंग. रेल्वे स्टेशनचा फोटो आहे हा. एक स्टेडियमचं आर्किटेक्चर आहे. कर्ड लाईन्स घेतलेल्या आहेत ह्या कर्ड लाईन्समुळे मेनली हा डायनामिझम दाखवतो, प्लस दिस लाईन्स फॉर्म्ड ॲज अ लीडिंग लाईन्स. दिस इज ऑल्सो शॉट ऑन मोबाईल. हे टोकियो कॅसल म्हणून आहे, टोकियो मध्ये घेतलेला फोटो आहे मोबाईल वरती. हा एक मी जपानला असताना गिंजा स्क्वेअर म्हणून एक आहे. दिस इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द हेरिटेज बिल्डिंग. म्हणजे हा सेइको स्क्वेअर पण त्याला म्हणतात. म्हणजे सेइको कंपनीचे तुम्ही घड्याळ ऐकले असतील की नाही, प्रॉब्ली युअर प्रोफेसर्स माइट हॅव हर्ड अबाउट दॅट. जिथे सेइको घड्याळापूर्वी बनवली जायची त्याच्या जवळपास आणि नंतर तिकडने विकली जायची, ती ही बिल्डिंग आहे ती. सो हा संध्याकाळी मोबाईल वरती घेतलेले फोटो आहेत. त्याचे 3 वेगवेगळे व्ह्यूज घेतलेले आहेत मी. सो यू कॅन सी दी, म्हणजे ह्याच्यात एक दाखवण्याचा उद्देश असा होता हा फोटो की नवीन, जुनं आणि त्या बिल्डिंगचं आर्किटेक्चर असं सगळं त्याच्या आजूबाजूला आहे, म्हणून हे असे 3 वेगळे वेगळे फोटोज घेतलेले होते. डाव्या बाजूचा हा फोटो आहे. हा आर्किटेक्चर बेसिकली जे शेप्स आपण जे कॅप्चर करायचं म्हणलं होतं, अगेन दिस ऍक्ट्स एज अ इम्प्लाइड लीडिंग लाईन्स ऍक्च्युली इथनं पुढे. सो डायरेक्टिंग टुवर्ड्स दिस बिल्डिंग. हे जर बघितलं तर हे बुद्धिस्ट टेम्पल आहे. सो हा बेसिकली जो शेप घ्यायचा होता त्याच्यासाठी, आणि त्याच्यानंतर ह्याचा खालचं डिझाईन, हे जे किंवा मोल्ड्स आपण त्याला म्हणू, सो ह्या मोल्डसाठी घेतलेला हा फोटो आहे. हा मगाशी तुम्ही बघितलेला वीक लाईटचा एक्झाम्पल म्हणून. हा सुद्धा स्ट्रीट फोटोग्राफी करताना ह्या रेस्टॉरंटचा बाहेरचा बेसिकली ह्या पॅटर्न साठी घेतलेला फोटो आहे. हे जे पॅटर्न्स इथे फॉर्म होतात आणि तो त्याच्यावरती पडणारा येलो कलर. हे एका मंदिरातलं डिझाईन आहे. ह्या डिझाईनसाठी घेतलेला फोटो आहे. दरवाजावरती जे डिझाईन होतं त्याच्यासाठी. अगेन तो हा जो फोटो आहे राईट हँड साईडचा, त्याचीच एक बाहेरची बाजू. हे पण दोन्ही मंदिरामधलेच फोटो आहेत. सो बेसिकली ह्या कलरच्या दृष्टीने घेतलेला फोटो. हे पिलरचं स्ट्रक्चर इथे जे दाखवायचं होतं. त्याच्यानंतर ह्या मंदिरातली ही ओव्हरऑल सिटिंग अरेंजमेंट जी केलेली आहे त्यांनी, हे बुद्धिस्ट मॉंक्स हे इथे ज्याला म्हणतो आपण गाभारा आहे. दिस इज द इंटरनल ओव्हरऑल स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द टेम्पल. आणि मॉडर्न आर्किटेक्चर जेव्हा आपण इंटरनल फोटोज घेतो तर त्याच्यात सुद्धा लाईन्स कशा बघितल्या आहेत, शेप्स कशा बघितल्या आहेत, कलर्स कसे बघितले आहेत. सो एव्हरीथिंग इज गेटिंग प्रॉपरली एम्फसाइज. हे अशा पद्धतीने इव्हन मॉडर्न आर्किटेक्चर मध्ये सुद्धा हे सगळे असे फोटो हे आता नॉर्मल DSLR कॅमेराने घेतलेले. सो दिस इज हाऊ वी कॅन शूट दी फोटोग्राफ्स. मोबाईलवरती जेव्हा आम्ही फोटोग्राफ्स काढतो तेव्हा नॉर्मली आम्ही वापरणारे ऍप्लिकेशन्स काय असतात, स्नॅपसीड, फोटोशॉप, लाईटरूम. सो फोटोशॉप, लाईटरूम पेड व्हर्जन्स असतात, पण त्यातलं स्नॅपसीड जर तुम्ही बघितलं तर ते इझिली तुम्हाला डाउनलोड करून घेता येतं. आणि तुम्हाला हे सगळे मोबाईलचे फोटोग्राफ्स हे सगळे ऑलमोस्ट स्नॅपसीड वरती वगैरे प्रोसेस केलेले फोटोग्राफ्स आहेत. कुठलंही हाय एंड सॉफ्टवेअर किंवा हाय एंड कॅमेराज वापरलेले नाही त्याच्यात. तुम्हाला मोबाईलवरती जर फोटोग्राफी करायची असेल तर तुम्हाला अशा काही लेन्सेस अवेलेबल असतात, जे अमेझॉन वरती पण यू कॅन गेट दोज लेन्सेस रेंजिंग बिटवीन ₹300 to ₹1000. जास्त महाग नाही आहेत. तुमचा मोबाईल कॅमेरा कुठला त्याला त्याच्या दृष्टीने तुम्हाला अशा लेन्सेस अशा इथे क्लिप करता येतात. असे स्टँड्स मिळतात तुम्हाला जेव्हा तुम्हाला स्टडी शॉट्स घेता येतात. घेण्यासाठी तुम्हाला हे स्टँड्स असे वापरता येतात. सो या ऍक्सेसरीज मुबलक अवेलेबल आहेत अमेझॉन वरती. यू कॅन यूज दोज ऍक्सेसरीज. आम्ही सुद्धा ह्या ऍक्सेसरीज कधी कधी वापरून फोटोज घेतो. पण फक्त वन थिंग व्हॉट वी नीड टू कीप इट इन माइंड की तुम्ही जेवढ्या लोअर कॉस्टच्या ऍक्सेसरीज घ्याल तेवढ्या तुमची पिक्चरची क्वालिटी खराब होते. सो थोडासा 1000-1200च्या रेंज मधलं घेतलं तर बेटर असते. पण स्टील बिकॉज वी वॉन्ट टू यूज आवर पर्टिक्युलर फोटोग्राफ्स फॉर द आर्ट वर्क, दॅट इज वाय वी ourselves have personally tried to avoid all these types of lenses. Otherwise, you can use this for your study purpose and all those things. That's not a problem. मोबाईल फोटोग्राफ्स घेताना तुम्हाला कुठल्या फॉर्मॅटमध्ये घ्यायचे, कुठे तुम्हाला डिस्प्ले करायचे फोटोज, त्याच्यावरती म्हणजे जास्त तुम्ही सिलेक्शन तुमचं कसं आवडून राहील. तुम्हाला इंस्टाग्राम वरती वगैरे जर टाकायचं तर 1:1, अदरवाईज नॉर्मल ह्या 2 रेशोमध्ये 4:3 किंवा 16:9 रेशोमध्ये तुम्ही फोटो घेऊ शकता. हल्लीचे मोबाईल बऱ्यापैकी स्मार्ट आहेत, त्याच्यात असं स्पेसिफिकली सेटिंग्स करण्यासारखं फार काही नाही. जस्ट ट्राय टू शूट इन ऑटो मोड राईट नाव. मी आता मुद्दामून टेक्निकल गोष्टी फोटोग्राफीच्या सांगत नाही. पहिल्यांदा एक अप्रोच फोटोग्राफीचा काय हा कळला पाहिजे, म्हणून मी त्याच्यावरती जास्त फोकस केलेलं आहे. सो दीज आर जस्ट बेसिकली तुम्हाला ह्याच्यात कॅमेरामध्ये लाईव्ह फोकस मोड, फोटो, व्हिडिओ, आणि नवीन नवीन कॅमेरामध्ये अजून मोड्स आलेले आहेत जिथे तुम्ही प्रो मोड मध्ये वगैरे पण शूट करू शकता. डोंट गेट इन टू ऑल दोज थिंग्स इमिजिएटली. पहिल्यांदा तुम्ही हे सगळे कंपोज कसे करायचे, अँगल्स कसे घ्यायचे, ह्याच्यावरती जर फोकस केला तर ह्या टेक्निकल गोष्टी शिकायला तुम्हाला 2 दिवस खूप झाले. ह्या टेक्निकल गोष्टी शिकून जर तुम्हाला ते कंपोज नाही करता आले तर इट डझंट मेक एनी सेन्स. So that's it for today. Any questions? I'm open for questions. I overshooted by 10 minutes. Sorry for that.
काही विचारायचंय का कुणाला? बरं, तुम्ही केलेलं थोडं
Excuse me, sir.
Huh.
So recently we are conducting a study on a heritage site, the Panchaganga temple,
Okay.
and we have captured some images. The whole class has have captured the images. So we would like to show you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, please go ahead. I'll stop sharing.
Just a minute.
Actually, they wanted to say that they have done that without understanding of photography.
Okay.
And after getting an insight of whatever you have given today, so we will be surely taking the photos again with that sense of understanding of photography, right? All of you?
Yeah, yeah. We can quickly go through 5-6 photographs, and I can tell you if any improvements are required. Probably that will again help you in understanding it a bit.
पंचगंगा
Sir, is the picture visible?
Yes, yes, visible.
Next dakhel.
हा नेक्स्ट.
Yes, sir. So this is the same picture. One is in black and white, and other is in a color picture.
परत मागे जाल एक मिनिट. कलर वरती. आता इथे काय झालंय माहिती, आता इथे मोबाईल वरती घेतल्यामुळे हा जो कळस जो आहे वरचा,
This one.
बरोबर ना,
हा.
कळस तेवढा प्रॉमिनेंटली कळत नाही, बरोबर ना. कारण इथे खूप ब्राईट लाईट झाल्यामुळे, आणि इथे लाईट वरती होता इथे, आणि इथे खाली डार्क एक्सपोजर्स होतं, त्यामुळे कॅमेराला तेवढं आपल्या डोळ्यांना जेवढी रेंज दिसत असते तेवढी कॅमेराला रेंज दिसत नसते. ओके. त्यामुळे काय झालं, इथला पार्ट निघून गेला. त्यामुळे आता लाईटची डिरेक्शन जर तुम्ही बघितली तर लाईट लेफ्ट टू राईट इकडे येतोय, बरोबर ना. म्हणजे सॉर्ट ऑफ लिटल बिट मागच्या साईडनी लेफ्ट टू राईट इथे येतोय, आणि हा इथे खाली बघितलं तर डार्क होत गेला, आणि हा लाईट इकडनं ह्या दरवाजापर्यंत इथे येतोय, बरोबर.
Yes, sir.
तर हा जर समजा कॅप्चर करायचा असतं व्यवस्थित, तर लाईट अजून त्याची जर हाईट असती लाईटची, किंवा लाईटची डिरेक्शन थोडीशी अपोजिट साईडला गेली असती, तर हे सगळे डिटेल्स व्यवस्थित कॅप्चर झाले असते.
Yes, sir.
कंपोजिशन वाईज ओके, बट इथे लाईटचा म्हणजे इम्पॉर्टन्स आपल्याला कळतो. आलं लक्षात?
येस सर.
आलं का सगळ्यांना?
See, आता हा फोटो हॉरिझॉन्टल लाईन शुड बी स्ट्रेट. आता हे जर बघितलं तर हे कसे इन्क्लाइंड झालेत, बरोबर ना?
येस
हॉरिझॉन्टल लाईन इन्क्लाइन झाली आहे ती, बरोबर. अँड दॅट टू कॅमेरा वॉज नॉट एक्झॅक्टली पॅरलल टू दी सब्जेक्ट,
येस
करेक्ट. त्यामुळे म्हणजे आर्किटेक्चर फोटोग्राफीच्या पॉइंट ऑफ व्ह्यूनी म्हणजे स्टडी पॉइंट ऑफ व्ह्यूनी हा फोटो ठीक आहे, नॉट बॅड, वर्केबल. बट ऍज फ्रॉम अ फोटोग्राफी पर्स्पेक्टिव्ह ती एक इम्प्रुव्हमेंट यायला पाहिजे होती. आणि अगेन यू सी वन थिंग ओव्हर हिअर की हा लाईट डायरेक्ट वरन आहे, टॉप लाईट आहे हा,
येस सर.
बरोबर. त्यामुळे त्या दाराच्या खालच्या किंवा हे जे वरती जे दोन स्तंभ आहेत, काय म्हणतो त्याला, डिझाईन्स, त्याच्या खालचे डिझाईन्स तेवढे प्रॉमिनेंटली दिसत नाहीयेत,
येस येस.
बरोबर. किंवा इथलं दाराच्या बाजूचं जे खाली जे अजून आहे तिथलं पण स्ट्रक्चर व्यवस्थित दिसत नाहीये
येस
त्या खाचांमधलं,
येस.
बरोबर. तो जर साईडनी असता थोडासा लाईट किंवा अजून थोडासा खाली गेला असता, म्हणजे फ्रॉम दी फोटोग्राफर्स बॅक साईड तो जर आला असता, एक्झॅक्टली टॉप नसता, तो मागणं नाहीये ही जास्त गोष्ट चांगली आहे, कारण तुम्हाला डिटेल्स दिसले नसतं. जर सब्जेक्टच्या मागे गेला असता तर अंधार झाला असता, पण तो फोटोग्राफरच्या मागणं जर आला असता लाईट थोडासा इन्क्लाइन डिरेक्शन मध्ये, त्या लाईट सिच्युएशन मध्ये घेतली असती तर तो फोटोग्राफ अजून बेटर दिसला असता.
ओके सर.
ओके, म्हणजे तिथले डिटेल्स तुम्हाला व्यवस्थित दिसले असते. कारण वरचा जो म्हणजे दरवाजावरचा जो डिझाईनचा जो पार्ट आहे त्याच्या खाली ज्या शॅडोज आलेल्या आहेत, त्या शॅडोज मुळे काय होतं, तिथलं जे ज्या खांबावरती ते आधारलेले आहेत त्या खांबाचे डिटेल्स आपल्याला नीट दिसत नाहीये,
येस येस.
बरोबर.
Basically, ह्या situationला त्या मंदिराच्या exact म्हणजे फक्त सांगायचं message आहे, exact backside ला आतली
आवाज येत नाही मला.
So the situation for this photography was that this is a temple and
छोट्या पॅसेज नंतर लगेच बॅक साईडला, म्हणजे ज्या साईडनी फोटो काढलाय तुम्ही, जसं बोलला
हा, ओके,
अजून
ठीक आहे.
आहे. So तिथे स्पेस नसल्यामुळे तो लाईट वरनं आल्यावर तेवढ्याच एरिया देतो किंवा त्याच्यावरच राहतो. मग ह्या सिच्युएशनला काय करता येईल?
ह्या सिच्युएशनला फोटो काढायचा नाही, सिम्पल.
सर पण जर ते डिटेल्स म्हणजे त्या ह्यानी कव्हर करतात असेल मग ते
नाही, मी सिरियसली आय वॉज नॉट जोकिंग. सी, नॉर्मली कसं असतं की वी ट्राय टू बिकम अ कंपल्सरी फोटोग्राफर. आय नो आर्किटेक्चर फोटोग्राफी तुम्ही जी करता हे मोर दॅन आर्ट फोटोग्राफी, तुम्ही रेकॉर्ड फोटोग्राफी तुम्ही जास्त त्याच्यावरती एम्फोसिस आहे. पण तुम्ही आता हा जर रेकॉर्ड फोटोग्राफ जरी तुम्ही म्हणला तरी ह्या रेकॉर्ड फोटोग्राफ मधनं तुम्हाला ह्या फोटोग्राफ मध्ये तुमचे 20% डिटेल्स लॉस झालेले आहेत जवळजवळ, की जे तुम्हाला डिटेल्स तुम्हाला दिसत नाहीत की तिथलं स्ट्रक्चरिंग कसं केलेलं आहे, काय केलेलं आहे. ते स्ट्रक्चरिंग तुम्हाला जर स्टडी करायचं असेल तर तुम्हाला हा प्रॉपर लाईट पाहिजे म्हणजे पाहिजेच. दॅट मीन्स फर्स्ट ट्राय टू बिल्ड अ हॅबिट ऑफ गेटिंग अ क्वालिटी आउटपुट.
yes sir.
If you are going to compromise quality, then it is not right. Then you start giving excuses. You have to wait for situation to come, or you study the light properly की ह्या लाईट मध्ये हे चांगलं दिसतंय. ह्या तुम्ही एक सगळेजण एक एक्सरसाइज करा. म्हणजे मी तुम्हाला अगदी छोटी एक ट्रिक सांगतो. तुम्ही तुमच्या घराच्या बाहेर किंवा कॉलेजमध्ये जर तुम्ही येत असाल तर तुमच्या कॉलेजच्या बाहेर एक छोटीशी वस्तू पकडा, झाड पकडा, दगड पकडा, काही पकडा, काही हरकत नाही त्याला. ती वस्तू दिवसाच्या अनेक म्हणजे फेजेस मधनं पास होत असताना, म्हणजे वेळेच्या, म्हणजे सकाळपासून संध्याकाळपर्यंत ती वस्तू कुठल्या टाइमला कुठले फिजिकल कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक्स जास्त चांगले एम्फसाइज करते हे बघायला शिका. म्हणजे तुम्हाला लक्षात येईल की तुम्हाला आर्किटेक्चर फोटोग्राफी करताना सुद्धा हे तुम्हाला उपयोगी पडेल. ओके, आता तुम्ही हा फोटोग्राफ घेतला, ठीक आहे, वेळेचं बंधन होतं, लाईट तुम्ही म्हणजे ह्यांनी काय होतं म्हणजे ह्यांनी कंपल्सरी फोटोग्राफी केली जाते आणि वी लूज आवर फोकस आणि आपल्याला जे पाहिजे ते आउटपुट मिळत नाही. म्हणून थांबायचं, सिरियसली सांगतो मी, थांबायचं. आय एम नॉट जोकिंग. आम्ही फोटोग्राफी करतानाही असंच करतो. जर आम्हाला लाईट म्हणजे जर हवा तसा लाईट नसेल तर माझ्या बॅगेतनं माझा कॅमेरा सुद्धा निघत नाही, खिशातनं मोबाईल सुद्धा बाहेर निघत नाही.
जे सर
कंपल्सरी फोटोग्राफी केलं की क्वालिटीशी तुम्ही कॉम्प्रोमाइज केलं की तुम्ही संपलात.
तर हाच मुद्दा मी मुलांना पण सांगितलेला होता की टाइम झोन किंवा लाईट क्वालिटी आपल्याला कशी देणार, त्या राऊंड द क्लॉक तुम्ही तो स्ट्रक्चर बघितला पाहिजे. काही लिमिटेशन्स होते आम्हाला, बट विल ट्राय टू इम्प्रूव्ह दॅट.
परफेक्ट, एक्झॅक्टली. आणि सी तुम्हाला हे तसं मंदिर तसं जवळच आहे म्हणजे आणि तुम्ही एका गोष्टीकडे तुम्ही साधं तुम्ही एवढं लांब पण जाऊ नका. तुमचं महालक्ष्मी मंदिर आहे, तुमचं शालिनी पॅलेस आहे तिकडे, तुम्ही तिकडे जाऊन सुद्धा तुम्ही दिवसभर जरी ते एखाद्या सुट्टीवरती हॉटेलात मॉलमध्ये जाण्यापेक्षा तिकडे जा, तिकडे जाऊन एक दिवस काढा. तुम्हाला कळेल की कुठल्या तुम्हाला मी सांगतो, तुम्ही आता माझे आगा खान पॅलेसचे फोटोज बघितले ते काय मी आगा खान पॅलेस मध्ये गेलो आणि त्याच दिवशी फोटो काढले असं नाही. कमीत कमी आगा खान पॅलेस मध्ये 7 ते 8 वेळा जाऊन आलोय, तेव्हा कुठे मी फोटो काढलेत. ते एका झटक्यात काढलेले फोटो नाहीत. घराच्या जवळच्या गोष्टी असतील तर गोष्ट साध्य होते, मान्य मला, पण लांब असेल तर तुम्ही जेव्हा घराच्या जवळच्या गोष्टींचा अभ्यास जेव्हा तुम्ही चांगला करता, तेव्हा तुम्ही कुठे बाहेर गावी जाऊन जेव्हा तुम्हाला करायचं असेल तर तुम्ही तो जास्त चांगल्या पद्धतीने अभ्यास करायला शिकाल, हे मी तुम्हाला गॅरंटेड सांगतो. तुम्ही कुठल्या परिस्थितीत, आता तर कितीतरी ऍप्स अवेलेबल आहेत की एखाद्या लोकेशनला एखाद्या ठिकाणी कुठल्या वेळेस काय लाईट परिस्थिती असते ते तुम्ही अभ्यास करून जाऊ शकता. सो कॉम्प्रोमाइज करू नका कुठल्या गोष्टींवरती. कॉम्प्रोमाइज केला की तुम्ही संपलात. ठीक आहे, पुढे.
ओके सर.
सर फक्त आता टाइम कन्स्ट्रेंट हे लोकांनी लंच नाही घेतलेला होता, सो इट्स ऑलमोस्ट.
आय एम सो सॉरी फॉर दॅट ऍक्च्युली.
तर आम्हाला दाखवायचं भरपूर आहे. आय थिंक विल ऑल्सो रिक्वायर मच मोर सेशन्स फ्रॉम युअर साइड. लेट्स सी हाऊ इट विल बी प्लॅन्ड.
येस.
It was really good. But vote of thanks देते. We have so many photographs. Maybe through Bhargavi we'll send you the photographs. आणि मग आणखीन we really would like from our side, from our college, to have much more lectures on photography.
Indeed, I would love to give that. Hope your purpose was satisfied today to great extent. I'm not claiming 100%, but to maximum extent I was able to justify the session.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Happy to know that. बरं, मी हा व्हिडिओ युट्यूब वरती पण टाकीन. कोणाला जर परत बघायचा असेल, कोणी मिस केला असेल तर माझा युट्यूब चॅनल तिकडे मी भार्गवीची लिंक शेअर करेन, ती तुम्ही तिकडे जाऊन पण बघू शकता. बाय.
Bye, sir.